Tonight, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's a special prime-time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Tyler Bass to kick off for Buffalo.
Tyler Bass about ready to get us going. And we are underway from MetLife Stadium. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants go to work on offense for the first time, and it's Daniel Jones leading the way, the number 6 pick in the 2019 draft.
A little bit of broken record time, partner, because we know that this young man, Daniel Jones, was a surprise pick at number 6 overall. But I thought that he got better and better as the year went on in his rookie year. A lot of trial by fire. Needs to protect the football better while in the pocket. But when he's at his best, he can throw it and run it, and he's an ascending quarterback. 24 touchdown passes as a rookie.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made.
But that's the second time in this opening drive alone that he's dropped the pass. We know that that can't continue, but they got to determine what it's about. Is he just super amped for the game and maybe he'll settle in, or is his focus just not?
Oh, trying to fit it into Shepard, but it's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. But a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Allen. On the left side, he finds Beasley. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there of 22. 1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They run here with Singletary. And the Bills are going to have it 1st and goal as he'll take this down to about the 3.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Calling a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. They'll look to run with Singletary. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bills have taken the early lead.
Well, they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
25-yard line.
So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
On the tackle.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
2nd and 4.
Operating from the gun, Jones finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races. Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Here's Jones on 3rd down. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
That's a nice clip and save sequence there defensively because they did everything as they would have wanted to. They forced the 3rd down, blanketed the field with coverage, nowhere to go with the football, forced the dump off to the back, And even then, they closed quickly and got him down behind the line of scrimmage. You name it, they did it well in that last sequence.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. On the ground, it's Singletary. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And he completes it to the tight end, Knox. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. That's a first down and then some, a 32-yard pickup.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Allen again here on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Allen to throw once more. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the Bills are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Bills will add on to their lead. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it was finished off by a Devin Singletary touchdown run. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Through an opening, and there he goes. Touchdown, Giants. Wayne Goldman, 75 yards. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, get that one. Come on now.
come to the line to start their next drive. Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. He will find Davis. That's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, how about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Singletary. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also, like,
oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by James Bradbury. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender. From there, he doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
The Bills take over 1st and 10.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like...
Now this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line.
The drive begins with a handoff to Gallman. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. These two teams all tied after one.
Score tied 14-14.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, Jones. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down. Gallman will run it. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Gallman, the ball carrier.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Murphy made the tackle. It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 4.
Jones from the gun on 3rd down. The Buffalo defense does its job, and it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Makes the score Giants 17.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. The Buffalo offense and Devin Singletary heading back out there. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger.
Singletary loses it, and he's going to have a Bills 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
That's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here. When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty, but when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
A play fake to Singletary, and now it's Allen. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. From the gun, it's Allen. He'll get this one complete to Davis. And he's taken down inside the 30. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one.
Let's keep receivers alive in a play. Never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Big Leonard Williams, the one who came in and got him.
When Leonard Williams was picked in the 2015 NFL Draft, I compared him to Merlin Olsen, and I got a lot of grief about it. Did you just see that play there? Did you see how he made that move and made that tackle? That was Merlin Olsen-esque there.
I just perked up when you said Merlin Olsen.
Yeah, a lot of people said, hey, that's too much, too far, and maybe it is early, but I think this guy has a chance of fulfilling that.
And the Bills are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. First grab so far for Diggs. It's a 1st down. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns, and the Bills have retaken the lead. And he's able to put it through. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. The Giants on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. Right side, it's Lewis. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The football back to the Bills and Stephon Diggs. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Well, so far, just the single catch.
What I enjoyed most about watching Devin Singletary as a rookie, and he had a nice campaign, 775 yards on the ground and a rushing average in the top 5 in the league last year, is that what I saw in college transferred to the NFL. Continued to make the first tackler miss, whether he was in the hole or on the perimeter. I expect him to get to 1,000 yards rushing this season.
A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And Beasley with it over the middle. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Bills will add on to their lead. And the lead will grow by 1 more. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
25-yard.
A look at Sterling Shepard as he and this offense get set to go again. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Finds his tight end Ingram. And out across midfield down to the 45. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. A 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psych. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. There he goes right side. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and a Bills touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6, obviously costly.
but they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play too.
Jones now. A final shot before break. That's complete to Slayton. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go.
17.
Bills with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On first down, they stick with Singletary. And he'll get this up to about the 40. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Allen's throw is complete, and they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 43.
A gain of 16.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Love the play call that time. Love the design. You put 3 tight ends on the field. That screams jumbo set, running formation to a defense, right? No, they go play action, and defense gets confused for just a split second. And next thing you know, completion for good yardage.
They'll run on first down. Singletary. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Now a run with Singletary. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
First and goal.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll run here with Moss. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Here's Singletary. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. They're going to run for it. It's Moss. And he's not going to get in. They stop him at the 1. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And this Giants defense able to come up with a goal line stand. Now it's the Florida Atlantic alone. This is Alfred Morris. And a nice pickup as this one gets him to the 10-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Brings up 2nd and 1.
Here's Gallman. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Now Gallman. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Gallman, the ball carrier.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
That's good for a Giant.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Off the edge, Jerry Hughes gets the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
It's now 3rd down and long.
Now Jones throwing on 3rd and long. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
A great return there of 22 yards. And the Bills are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. This one caught by Davis. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 13 and a Buffalo 1st down. They will run with Singletary. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage. And that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Allen. And Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off at the 17. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Out of the gun, he'll throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Tate. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 33-yard line.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jones. And that'll be incomplete. Jones took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 1.
Throwing Jones. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jerry Hughes, his 2nd sack of the night.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Over the middle to Smith. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 16 yards, a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Come on now.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll run here with Singletary. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 12-yard line.
It's a gain of 17 yards.
Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he's going to work this one down to about the 5.
Singletary,
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal.
2-yard line.
They'll try to run this one in. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. So stuffed from the 2. Now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action.
Definitely. Let him get out.
And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bills will extend their lead. They were able to stop him at the line on first down, but this time he punches his way through.
And sometimes just because you're stopped on the first run, it doesn't mean the play call was bad or incorrect. You might just need better execution and just a tad more determination, and they got it done on the 2nd try.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The Giants on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Off play action. Jones looking for Shepard deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception. Picked off around the 41. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
They'll take over.
Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
On first down, Singletary. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, They want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. The Bills on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. On the give, this is Singletary. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. The offense going to stay out there. They've converted once, failed once. What can they do here on 4th down? Singletary, they'll run for it. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. The type of game that he's having running the football, there was no doubt who they were giving the ball to.
So why didn't they just go ahead and go after him on defense? Right? If you know, on him. Right? You know he's having that type of a game. Who else would you expect to get the football? I would have taken my chances and sold out defensively to stop him. And if anyone else picks it up, I tip my cap to him.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Give him 3 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
3rd down.
They'll try and run for this with Moss. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2.
Brought down at the 2.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll look to run with Moss. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, they mentioned this week, Charles, they had a couple kinks on offense that they wanted to fix. I would say they're pretty well fixed.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, just about everything they've run has been successful in this one. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm done with this, right? I have no answers for anything. In fact, I probably send a note to the clock operator. Let it run.
And this carries into the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious.
And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Ed Oliver, that time, the one to get in there and bring him down. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Sets up a 3rd down and 18.
From the gun, Jones. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Buffalo set to get the football back here.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. So Allen's going to look to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Logan Ryan. Allen's pass. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over.
Brings up second and
looking to throw again on second down. Jones to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal. Now Jones looking end zone, but it's incomplete. I think here the score dictates you pretty much got to go for it.
But when you look at the scoreboard and you realize that 3 doesn't do you a whole lot of good in this situation, you're exactly right. Dial up one of your better plays and get after it. Forget the field goal kicker. He doesn't matter.
Makes the score Bills 49.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Bills take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
They'll run on first down with Moss. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tackle made by Dexter Lawrence. 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 42-yard line.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points.
Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, this is Madden NFL 21.
Charles and I have been looking forward to this one all week, and we are underway from Ford Field.
Taken in the end zone, and they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25.
Now a first down throw for Newton. He completes it right side of the lane. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 17 yards on the game's opening play and a quick first down. One play has him up past the 40 already and another 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Newton. Looks for White, but it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46, and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
First carry for DeAndre Swift. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
He's brought down.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
2. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Stafford going to give it to Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
4-yard line.
An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on 3rd down. Stafford with a play fake to Swift, and he'll set to throw. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Stafford to his 2nd-year tight end Hockenson for a Lion first down. Now it's Swift. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. John Simon in on the stop. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. Each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded in the end zone. And this will be brought out to the 25 as Taylor elects to not return it.
25-yard line.
So back onto the field come the Pats for their 2nd drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
He was looking for his tight end, Devin Asiasi there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
To throw again. Newton. And he's going to have the hook up here with Harry. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Sony Michel, his first carry. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
New England.
Now Newton. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring him 2nd down.
Incomplete.
He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it was really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Newton. That one complete to Keene, the tight end. And he will have a Patriots first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. A shotgun snap for Newton. That'll be taken in by Demir Byrd. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 29-yard line. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And his throw is incomplete.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
Back to the air, Newton on second down. And his throw here is incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. And Newton throwing again. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Romeo Okwara coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Well, listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their background. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
On second down, Swift. And he is out of bounds, but number 4 is inside the 30. A gain of 28 yards there and give him the first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From the 25 on second down, Stafford, and this one's incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
Down in the air, and now it's intercepted. Devin McCourty picks it off, and he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Got a man open, that's Harry. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
New England.
Operating from the gun, Newton, and that's incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
A throw ball nearly going to be caught by Harry. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down.
Patriots.
Throwing again is Newton. The fight is tight in here. Asiasi. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 44-yard line.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Lions 7, Patriots nothing.
On second down, it's White. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41.
Ball carrier.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
And it's 3rd down.
From the gun, Newton, open man,
is Asiasi, the tight end. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That one good for 13 and a New England first down. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
It's a pickup with 6.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
Flushed out right, and he's going to keep it here. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On the ground is Michel, and he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
The ball carrier.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 11-yard line.
They'll try the air now with Newton. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. New England on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Operating from the gun, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down, and that will force a turnover on downs. A chance to get some momentum here in the 2nd quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the 2nd quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down. Positive. Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
15 yards on the play, first down.
They were backed up to start the drive, but how about that aggressiveness? Firing it downfield right away. Nice job there getting out towards what would have been their normal starting position.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Well, remember, they tried to give him the ball and let him run on the last play, but I think the light bulb went off in their play caller's mind, and this time they get it to him the more conventional way, and it's much more successful as well.
Here's Kerryon Johnson, 3rd-year man from Auburn. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Adam Butler there on.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Leads to 2nd and 10.
On 2nd down now, Swift. And he's taken down inside the 30. A gain of 13, it's a first down.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner. than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he's just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, here's Swift. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
The tackle made at the 24-yard line.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Fine work by the Patriot D there, and it's 4th down.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
Makes the score Lions 10.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
New England trying to get a place on offense.
And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what
I
happened.
think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
Throw left side here, taken in by Asiasi, the tight end.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Open man is Jacoby Myers. He's got it. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the red zone now, Newton. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Now the Patriots will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half.
Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10.
To the air again, Newton. That's complete right around the 8. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Call it a 3-yard gain, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Brings up 3rd and inches.
Again, Newton. And he's got it. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the 1st down as he's tackled at the 1. The Patriots will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Out of the end zone.
Michel on an island by himself in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Here's Newton. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Cam Newton in the final seconds of the 1st half. And the Patriots are back within a score.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Folk connects on the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Jamal Agnew now to return it. So we've reached half. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it.
Patriots 7.
The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. To return, here's Agnew. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 30.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he'll take it across the 50 and into New England territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Now a carry for Swift. And he's going to take this down close to the first as he's brought down at the Patriots 41. So now we have Jackson slow to get back on his feet. Appears to be shaken up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Throwing deep for Galladay. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
It's now 2nd.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
And it's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And he's got him to tight end Hockenson. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down. Again, it's Stafford. He's got the first down inside the 10. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. Another first down as he went right back to the same well, this time for 17 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up.
2nd and goal.
They'll run with Swift. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. DeAndre Swift. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions add on to their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Taken in the end zone. And this will be brought out to the 25 as Taylor elects to not return it.
25-yard line.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
A gain of 4 yards. First down, New England.
They will run with White out of the shotgun. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call.
Offense. Are you serious?
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. From the gun, Newton. Throw caught here by Bird. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 18 big yards on that one, and a New England first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. On second down, Michelle. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
A gain of 7.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Operating from the gun, Newton on the left side, a catch by White. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It'll be a gain of 6, and it's a second down.
At the Lions' 33-yard line.
Now it's Newton. This is White on the screen. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 21. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
First down, New England.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Romeo Okwara picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And they're going to get him down shy of the first at about the 13-yard line. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. They'll run for it. This is White. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And the Patriots are going to have it first and goal as he'll take this down to about the 3. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. 2nd down and goal. Newton. And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. N'Keal Harry there to make the grab. And the Patriots have cut it back within a score. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10. At their own 29-yard.
DeAndre Swift heading back out with his Detroit teammates. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's a combination you want in your running.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And they'll get this well past across midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
First and 10 at the 37-yard.
Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter.
14.
They'll run on first down. Swift. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Ball carrier.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
A 2-yard pick.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
They'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6 at the 19-yard line.
From the gun, here's Newton. That's complete into the hands of Myers. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And it's third down.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Michelle. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
He's brought down at the 37-yard line.
Sony Michel comes out of a long line of terrific running backs from the University of Georgia and was a first-round selection for New England in 2018. He does not mind carrying the football, never turns down an opportunity. Top 10 in rushing attempts in the league in 2019.
Here's a first down throw that's complete. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
Brings up second and 7 at the 40.
Out of the gun, Newton. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
To go.
New England on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Newton. Open man is Myers. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down. Now Newton on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Here's Newton. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And finally down at the 32-yard line. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. From the gun, Newton. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Off the edge, the sack by Reggie Ragland. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Another try after the first down sack. Newton looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Devin Asiasi there. And it's 3rd down.
It's 3rd down.
Operating from the gun. Newton. And that is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. Despite some tough running, he's still wrangled down shy of the 15. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back, tell him to take care of the ball, and try and move forward.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Well, look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Tom McCoy picks it off. And they will finally stop him, but a great return gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. And this will be incomplete.
You tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
On 2nd down, Michelle. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
Sony Michel.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block it.
So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And we are all tied here in the final stages. So a big kick to get this back to even. Yet now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get into overtime yet. So now as a defense, you got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you. But you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Kenny Galladay, the Pro Bowler, was his intended target.
That'll bring up 2nd down.
25-yard line.
They'll run here with Swift.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 down at the 39. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
On 2nd down now, Swift.
DeAndre Swift, the ball carrier. Anthony Jennings on the tackle. That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 1.
On 3rd down, here comes Swift.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. On first down, Swift. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Brought down. Jonathan Jones there to make the stop. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good.
The score.
And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the fourth. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. J.J. Taylor, the intended target, out of the backfield, and that'll bring up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Newton to throw. Flush to his right. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on third down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Fielded in the end zone. And they will play it safe here and bring this one out to the 25. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
As we said, they control their own destiny now. Steps away to his left. He'll run it. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
First down, New England.
On the ground, this is Michel. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
The Patriot
well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
They'll get this into the hands of Burr. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Gain of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
From the gun, Newton. He'll drop it underneath to White. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short. And it'll be 4th down. Decision time now on 4th and about 1.5 yards.
I can still hear my high school coach, John Ford, right now.
In one formation.
I want my number 1 play with my number 1 runner over my number 1 blocker. Get me the first down. But some may very well say, punt this thing away, pin them down deep, and play field position.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
And Detroit getting set to go now. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. Excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Part 1 is done, now part 2.
26-yard line.
Once again, it's Swift.
Space to maneuver at the 40. And all the way up to the 46. That one, a gain of 20 and a first down. What did you see there on the defensive side? What allowed that good-sized run?
Well, they were in a cover 2 alignment, which means your 2 safeties are back away from the line of scrimmage. So if you can match up your blocking at the line, at the point of attack, there's usually some room, a big gap between that second level and third, and that's what they were able to exploit.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Stafford going to give it to Swift.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football. Right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you. And until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about.
It's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. 30. 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown.
Today's final.
Still catching our breaths from that electric finish. You get into overtime, that's one thing. It was